Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage Lieutenant General Bob Shea, AFCEA International.
You know, as I was sitting there eating, I realized I was remiss in not thanking Sergeant First Class Stewart for the great job that he did with the national anthem. So, Chaplain, if you'd pass that on to him, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. Well, anyway, good afternoon again this afternoon, and as we continue enjoying lunch, I'd like to personally thank CenturyLink and Ciena for their sponsorship for this event. So thank you very much. And they're represented today by Scott Barnett, Vice President of Department of Defense Sales, CenturyLink, and George Holland, Vice President, General Manager, Ciena Government Solutions. So gentlemen, thank you very much for your generosity and your support. We certainly appreciate it, and I think we all recognize without great sponsors like this, events like this just couldn't have come off the way they do. And you might know that CenturyLink and Ciena have placed cards again at each of the tables, and simply fill them out with your information, return them to CenturyLink or Ciena representative here at lunch or on the show floor, and they'll make a donation to the USO. Let me say that one more time. Please fill out those cards and return them to CenturyLink or Ciena rep here at the lunch or on the floor. And if you do that, they will make a donation to the USO. So please take advantage of that. You know, AFCEA enjoys working with the Department of Defense, the COCOMs, the services, the agencies to host important discussions, as we said before. One of our key missions partners is the Defense Information Systems Agency. We are honored to have the Director of DISA and Commander Joint Force Doden, Vice Admiral Nancy Norton, to present our opening keynote address and start the discussion for our conference themes today and this week. As our Director of DISA, Admiral Norton manages a global network and leads more than 8,000 military and civilian personnel who plan, develop, deliver, and operate joint interoperable command and control solutions and capabilities, and they defend an enterprise infrastructure in more than 42 countries. So just think about that. It is one enormous task. And I was struck by listening to Tony Montemurano give his brief today about the breadth and the depth of the missions and functions they've got to perform. Just absolutely eye-watering. So to the entire DISA team, thank you for what you do on a regular basis, on a daily basis. You may be seen, may not be seen, but you're certainly felt in your presence, and so terribly important. And the mission directly supports the President, the Secretary of Defense, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the combatant commanders, the Department of Defense components, and other mission partners across a spectrum of combat and combat support operations. And there are a lot of things that DISA does that are not seen, but certainly without their support, the Department of Defense's mission would be most challenging to accomplish. As the Commander, Joint Force Headquarters Doden, Admiral Norton is charged with the direction and synchronization of defensive cyberspace activities, providing unity of command and unity of effort across the Department of Defense. She is responsible for organizing, training, and equipping the military and civilian staff who secure, operate, and defend the Doden. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Admiral Norton, the Director of the Defense Information Systems Agency.
For more than 59 years, the Defense Information Systems Agency, known as DISA, has provided round-the-clock communications and information technology support to our nation's warfighters and national leaders. The organization, originally called the Defense Communications Agency, or DCA, was founded on May 12, 1960. DCA was established to provide centralized management of the Department of Defense's communications assets. The organization's mission was to modernize and automate processes, reduce expenditures by individual military components, and increase the efficiency of service delivery. DCA pursued this mission through the 80s, improving the quality and availability of global telecommunication services and expanding voice and data communication services as technologies such as the internet and satellite communications evolved. DCA underwent a major reorganization and was renamed the Defense Information Systems Agency on June 21, 1991. The name change reflected the organization's expanded role as a provider of technical products and services for the military components. DISA increased its role as a key player in DoD telecommunications, interoperability, computing, and command and control mission areas. As a combat support agency, DISA played a role in nearly every military engagement. Today, DISA's global presence includes providing support to national-level leaders, humanitarian assistance and disaster relief efforts, combat engagements, intelligence, and special operations. The agency is the DoD provider of choice for information technology combat support and cyberspace defense. We deliver global communications, enterprise-wide end-user capabilities, and cyber tools to our DoD federal partners and allies on both classified and unclassified networks under all conditions in peacetime or conflict. Our global DISA infrastructure delivers capabilities to our mission partners through desktop and mobile platforms, leveraging applications hosted at DoD data centers or commercial clouds. Additionally, we ensure availability of spectrum through a full range of spectrum management activities, as well as resiliency and interoperability of our networks and capabilities through net assurance activities and a full range of system tests and evaluations. The Defense Information Technology Contracting Organization is a trusted premier DoD procurement workforce, providing efficient and compliant procurement services for the information technology, telecommunications, and cyber domains in defense of our nation. DISA will continue to partner with industry to ensure our warfighters of tomorrow have the most advanced cyberspace capabilities. We will leverage artificial intelligence, machine learning, and innovative technology to maintain information technology superiority, defending the DoD network from constantly evolving cybersecurity threats attacking our nation's warfighters. Our workforce will remain innovative and agile to address the future challenges. We are the Defense Information Systems Agency, proud of our past and poised for the future.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this year's AFCEA TechNet Cyber Conference. It's great to be back in Baltimore. Thank you, General Shea, for that kind introduction. In addition to TechNet Cyber Symposium, we have two others taking place here at the Convention Center: the DoD Capabilities Requirements Industry Advisory Council and the DoD and Federal Knowledge Management Symposium. To the combined team of AFCEA International, DISA, and our partners across the government, military services, and industry, thank you for making this year's conference a success. For the next 3 days, you will have the opportunity to network, learn, and collaborate with DISA and Joint Force Headquarters DoD, senior leaders, program managers, and subject matter experts. We must come together as trusted partners for a common goal to develop and implement innovative solutions supporting the warfighter and national security. Did everyone like the opening video? We are the Defense Information Systems Agency, proud of our past and poised for the future. That's why we're here today, to discuss the current state of cyber operations and identify the way forward to connect and protect the warfighter in cyberspace. DISA is committed to building and maintaining trusted partnerships with industry. Our warfighters today and tomorrow must have state-of-the-art capabilities to accomplish their mission. Through persistent engagement, our government and industry can partner to develop innovative technology, services, and capabilities to outpace the threat of our cyberspace adversaries. Next slide, please. Over the past year, we examined the state of cyber operations, addressed areas for improvement, and accomplished several goals. I'd like to share some of them with you today. I could not do anything without our incredible workforce. They are committed to supporting the National Defense Strategy's 3 lines of effort: increasing lethality of the joint force, strengthening alliances as we attract new partners, and reforming the department's business practices for greater performance and affordability. What's common with all 3 of these lines of effort? Cybersecurity and IT. These are priorities for the administration and our senior leaders within the department. You've seen a number of strategy documents released in recent months, including the National Cyber Strategy. It outlines today's technology challenges and the work that we must do in the near future. As the Defense Department's only IT combat support agency, DISA strives to provide the best warfighting capability to the military services, combatant commands, agencies, and our allies. The agency is also aligned to support the DoD CIO's digital modernization efforts and his 4 key pillars of cloud, artificial intelligence, command, control, and communications, and cybersecurity. Let's talk about a few of these efforts. Last spring, we were tasked to assist the Fourth Estate agencies with migrating their data and applications to MilCloud 2.0. This service is the DoD's on-premise commercial cloud offering. I'm happy to report that last December, we successfully completed our first application migration. We have since made improvements that will allow us to expedite migrations for the Fourth Estate and other mission partners. In the second half of the calendar year, we conducted a strategic review of the DoD's Joint Regional Security Stack, or JRSS, to address recurring operational and technical issues that our mission partners experienced. The review led us to implement the following 5 areas for improvement. Training. We created 10 on-demand operator training videos and trained 169 defensive cyber operators and provided the military services 15 programs so they could develop their own training. Migration. Our team simplified the customer migration process with standardized roles, simplified account provisioning, and prerequisite migration checklists. Reliability and stability. We reconfigured the joint management system tools and doubled the virtual desktop infrastructure capacity. The JRSS team standardized the security, information, and event management architecture and upgraded critical devices to improve performance. We modified the SIPRNet system in preparation for migration to use the same tools as NIPRNet for trouble ticket management, fault detection, and performance monitoring and management. And finally, we assessed our JRSS operational policy, process, and governance by developing best practices for the firewall, intrusion prevention system, and intrusion detection system to optimize the use of tools across the defensive cyber operations community. In October, we opened DISA Global Operations Command West on Hill Air Force Base in Utah. This site now mirrors the network operations and procedures of those at the Global Operations Center East at Scott Air Force Base. These sites now provide what we call active-active operations, one example of how our cyber operations evolve to meet mission and address increasing threats. We recently took a significant organizational step that shows our commitment to innovation. We promoted Mr. Steve Wallace as our Systems Innovation Scientist, which falls under the Scientific and Professional Senior Technical track, a first for our agency. Steve leads the newly established Emerging Technologies Directorate. This directorate will deliver innovative processes, services, and capabilities, as well as assess and integrate emerging technologies across DISA. We moved assured identity from a vision to operational prototypes by partnering with industry to reimagine identity protection. We all know that passwords and PINs do not provide adequate security. We've seen them fail repeatedly with commercial data breaches and the OPM data breach. Our vision is to eliminate passwords. Continuous multi-factor authentication will run seamlessly in the background, allowing access through biometric data distinct to each user. This prototype was the first to use DISA's own Other Transactional Authority, or OTA, to contract. The Assured Identity team and the industry partner developed a minimally viable product that will help us operationalize this concept and open the door to other innovative solutions. Speaking of OTAs, in March, the agency awarded 2 additional OTAs for cloud-based internet browser isolation prototypes. We are very excited about this new approach to web defense by redirecting internet browsing from a user's desktop to a remote server external to the DoDN, so malicious activity does not impact DoDN operations. DISA has 3 more OTAs that will go into phase 3 negotiations: Assured Identity on an iOS platform, machine learning and artificial intelligence to address cybersecurity challenges, and Global Command and Control Joint Enterprise, or GCCS-JE, which will modernize and improve the aging GCCS-J architecture to provide near real-time situational awareness for a global common operational picture, leveraging the latest cloud computing infrastructure and software development methodologies to meet present and future C2 requirements. This new solution will improve performance, reliability, and availability of the service. We are very excited to be using this OTA contract vehicle to bring in new innovation and allow us to take cybersecurity to the next level within the department. A significant highlight from last year was the agency's 2 new contracting vehicles, Encore 3 and SETI. Encore 3 offers full-spectrum IT services, while SETI is designed to develop unique and specialized non-commodity and innovative IT engineering solutions. And to the core of our combat support agency role, we cannot get lulled into creating services and capabilities for peacetime only. We have to be ready for survivable wartime support. DISA has been coordinating war planning support efforts across our field offices with our combatant commands. The agency derives our priorities, instates, and objectives within each theater based on requirements from each of the geographic combatant commanders. But then we also develop the support needed to set the globe, because communications and cyber operations are inherently global resources as we determine what the overlapping requirements are. And that's just what DISA has done to build, operate, and secure our networks. Now, let's talk about my other role, the Joint Force Headquarters Department of Defense Information Networks, or Joint Force Headquarters DoDN for short. Try putting that on a business card. We've been equally productive over the past year. Joint Force Headquarters DoDN is a component command of U.S. Cyber Command. It operates with directive authority for cyberspace operations, or DACO, for DoDN operations and defensive cyberspace operations internal defensive measures across all 43 DoD components, the 10 combatant commands, 5 services, and 28 agencies and field activities. DISA is one of those 28 agencies. The team fulfills one of U.S. Cyber Command's 3 missions, responsible for DoD DoDN operations and improving operational effectiveness through synchronizing the actions of DoD components to reduce vulnerabilities, eliminate threats, and disrupt, deny, and defeat attacks against the DoDN. The team is committed to this purpose and to U.S. Cyber Command's vision and strategy through persistent engagement, persistent presence, and persistent partnerships. There are more than 240,000 globally dispersed DoDN cyber forces working this mission. This number represents DoDN operations and cybersecurity forces at all levels. By ensuring a strong and consistent defensive posture, JFHQ DoDN works to prevent adversaries from gaining access to DoD networks. This year at TechNet, JFHQ DoDN has several sessions planned, so you will have the opportunity to learn more about the work the command is doing in the cyberspace operational domain. Tomorrow morning, Colonel Paul Kraft, my Director of Operations, will lead a theater session on our Fight the DoDN campaign. This is a strategic approach guiding major shifts in how DoD operates and protects its networks, weapon systems, and data. Fight the DoDN is broken into 5 lines of effort: secure, operate, defend, organize, and partner. His presentation will give you insights into how JFHQ DoDN has organized the DoDN into 43 areas of operations and interdependent sectors to create a cohesive command structure for defined cyber terrain, and how the cyber tasking cycle, new in 2018, is now central to JFHQ DoDIN operations. Also tomorrow morning, Dr. Jim Matlock, the director of the Defense Readiness and Security Inspection Team, will participate in a panel on the next generation inspection that builds on the command cyber readiness inspection by adding a mission-based, threat-focused approach. Our team was excited to open the new Joint Force Headquarters DoDIN Operations Center, or JDOC, last August. This 24/7 capability at the headquarters on Fort Meade is where we direct and synchronize DoDIN operations and DCO actions. With the JDOC as the command and control hub, the 43 DoD components gain insight from the fusion of operational data and intelligence, and trends in adversary behavior, which commanders and directors can use to make informed decisions about mission readiness. One of the big efforts that Joint Force Headquarters DoDIN and DISA teams are working together relates to endpoint security. This is a top priority for DoD. Current DoD endpoint security solutions involve an integrated set of capabilities that work together to protect, detect, respond, and report on cyber threats across DoD networks. Efforts to modernize endpoint security will focus on achieving a more standardized, interoperable, rapid, and secure set of capabilities to strengthen integrated threat analysis, defensive actions, and command and control across the DoDIN. As you can see, in the year since JFHQ DoDIN reached full operational capability, the command has matured significantly in our processes and taken on some major efforts to synchronize cyber operations and fight the DoDIN. The DoD cyber terrain is always under attack, so our job is to continue to push for better, faster, and more mature capabilities from all DoD components, DISA included. Yes, I push my own agency regularly. We could not do any of this without help from industry. Industry continues to play an instrumental role in DISA's ability to supply key information technology to cybersecurity missions around the globe. Industry is critical to JFHQ DoDIN's ability to fight the DoDIN, not just operate networks. To do that, our industry partnerships must be built on trust. When I think of a trusted relationship and a trusted partner, this is what comes to mind. Being clear about a technology's true capabilities, being honest and transparent about the scope and scale of a solution, being good stewards of taxpayer dollars, incorporating cybersecurity into services and capabilities from inception, and managing your supply chain risks and understanding the risks of your subcontractors. Our workforce is committed to our mission, and I need our industry partners to have that same level of dedication to our nation's no-fail mission. With any partnership, there's always room for improvement, so the agency is working to increase transparency and communications, and we do that through forums like this. For all trusted partnerships, we have to have a common understanding of the current environment, understand the operational needs, and set clear expectations for everyone involved. We are committed to building a trusted rapport that allows both the agency and our industry partners to be successful. Next slide, please. So can I say we are hiring? I have a spot just waiting for you. Each day, our workforce at Fort Meade or locations around the globe show their commitment and dedication to supporting our national defense. People are our greatest asset, and our workforce proudly represents the core values that DISA stands for: duty that inspires service and accountability. We always need talented people. We are looking to hire the best and brightest minds who are interested in information technology, spectrum, telecommunications, computer and electronic engineering, cybersecurity, cyberspace operations, as well as IT contracting, finance, personnel, administration, physical security, and even lawyers. It's critical to us that we hire people who are committed to our mission. If this sounds like a good fit for you and your skill sets and interests, I encourage you to come work for us. Our recruiting team will be on site at this year's event and will be available during the DISA Workforce Development and Recruiting Reception tomorrow afternoon. Or if you have relatives who are graduating soon, send them our way. For more information on our career opportunities and becoming part of our team, please visit our website at disa.mil/careers. Next slide, please. During the conference, you'll have the opportunity to meet our senior leaders, our program managers, our small business team, and our subject matter experts to learn more about our initiatives and our opportunities to partner with us. I encourage all of you to participate and grow your professional network. For a complete list of engagements, please review the daily agenda. Next slide, please. So as we reflect on our past, it's sobering to think of the future of cyber warfare. The U.S. maintained its lead and ability to project power since the end of the Cold War, but we no longer have the comfort of being the sole leader in global influence. Other nations are improving their military strategy and technology, and even non-state actors and multinational corporations are changing global influence through technology and the power of innovation. There is a resurgence of nations around the world competing for economic growth, military power, and global security. The National Defense Strategy acknowledges the return of great power competition and its impact on our competitive advantage. As we sit on the cusp of FY 2020, the global balance of power is changing, and it requires the department to adopt a strategic approach to counter it. But even as we look back at the Joint Vision 2020, published in the summer of 2000, it projected that in the year 2020, the U.S. will continue to have global interest and be engaged with a variety of regional actors. The potential adversaries will have access to the global commercial industrial base and much of the same technology as the U.S. military, and that we should expect potential adversaries to adapt as our capabilities evolve. These aspects are all true, and we see their effect on our lives and global efforts every day. Nations around the world are accelerating their efforts in cyber, artificial intelligence, spectrum, and other capabilities to challenge our military and national security, and potentially change the international order. We expect that any future warfare or conflict will have a cyber aspect to it. The National Cyber Strategy, released last year, highlights this reality by noting that new threats and a new era of strategic competition demand a strategy that reduces vulnerabilities, deters adversaries, and safeguards opportunities for the American people to thrive. Looking forward, we have to prepare for a multi-domain battle with an increased emphasis on cyber warfare and understand the impact that it will have on our country. Every sector relies on cyberspace, so the Defense Department must adopt a competitive mindset to achieve the resiliency and innovation our military needs in order to accomplish our mission and respond to national security threats. As a nation, we cannot be complacent. DISA and Joint Force Headquarters Doden, with our trusted partnerships and persistent engagement across DoD, government, allies, and with industry, must be prepared to fight and win in cyberspace. Thank you again for coming to AFCEA TechNet 2019. I hope you enjoy your time with us, and I would be happy to take some questions.
Thank you, ma'am. We have time for one question. With all your joint experience, do you have any particular priorities for the COCOMs, both functional and geographic?
Do I have a particular
priority?
For them or from them? Read the question again.
With all your joint experience, do you have any particular priorities for the COCOMs, both functional and geographic?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what the nexus of that question is, but I would say the most important thing for all of the COCOMs is interoperability, joint and coalition allied interoperability, because we have to be able to fight across all of the COCOMs. So you know, being able to do that seamlessly, regardless of where we're fighting, you know, the ability to have a regional fight and keep fights in a region is pretty much gone in the world of today and the world of tomorrow. And we have to have that kind of interoperability, and our forces have to be able to move seamlessly, particularly in our communications and in our IT systems. And so if we aren't constantly evaluating and ensuring that our communications and cyber systems are working across the globe, then we're going to fail our warfighters of tomorrow. And that's actually going back to the future. I mean, you know, many of you lived through that in previous decades when we learned that lesson the hard way.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lieutenant General Shea back to the stage to formally thank Admiral Norton on behalf of AFCEA and our audience.
I'm not going to let her get away with one question. So Terry, have you got another question back there?
Sir, we only got the one.
Okay. Okay, well, let me just thank Admiral Norton for joining us here today. I mean, I think she gave you a great focus on where she's headed, where DISA's headed. There's a lot of things going on, but I think one of the key, some of the key takeaways I took away from it was underscores the theme of the event, and that was the trusted partnerships. And we really need to work collectively together. And I think it's important to also understand that she emphasized warfighting capability in her role as a combat support provider to the combatant commanders of services and the agencies going on. It's clear that this agency recognizes the importance of technology as we move forward, and the increased emphasis is being placed on cyber in a world that is rapidly changing, it's dynamic, and we're dealing with peer competitors as well as those who are just a tier below those peer competitors. So I want to again thank Admiral Norton. I want to thank her agency, and I know that she's got this ship moving in the right direction. So please, Admiral Norton, accept our appreciation. We want to make sure you know that we're making a contribution in your name to Fisher House. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.